And we just want, I'm so glad that you were able to stay up late. I don't know what time you go to bed, but I know over in Wales right now, it's about 10:06. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Let me just introduce you for our folks that are watching live Facebook, and then later on, we'll trim this up and make it better and send it to YouTube. And usually what I do is I send a copy on to our guests who we're honored to have you tonight. But folks, if you're watching Faith, Family, and Friends tonight, we have a very special guest on, Janet Vokes. Is that how you say your last name, Vokes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Janet is the real life protagonist of the movie Dream Horse or Dream Alliance. And we watched the movie. I usually read the book before the movie, but I didn't realize till after we watched the movie that you had written a book about this experience, the horse that you had. Tremendous movie. It was a feel-good movie, and I'm sure the book is. We haven't ordered it yet. Usually before I have somebody on, I've read the book, but I certainly plan to, because usually the book is better than the movie, and you always want to read the book before watching the movie. But at any rate, for those who haven't seen the movie or even have read the book, I would love for you to tell your story. But can I ask you this question? Is this another book you written? In the back behind you, it says Dark Horse. Is that another story that's in the making, or?
No, that was a documentary that was made before Dream Horse. That was called Dark Horse.
Okay. And were you part of that documentary? Did you do the documentary, or?
Yeah, we took part in the documentary, myself, my husband, and a few of the syndicate members. We took part in the documentary.
Great. How available is that? Just because I'm curious, and we love horses.
Yeah, you can still get the DVD on Amazon.
Okay.
We actually came over to America.
Really? Wow.
With the DVD. We went to Kentucky for the Kentucky Derby.
Cool.
And we went to New York for the premiere of the documentary.
And when was this put out? A few years ago, or?
2015.
2015. Okay.
Yeah.
So the story about Dream Alliance, and you're growing up, maybe, have you always been a horse lover like our friend Julie is?
Not from a young age. I didn't get into horses until I met my husband.
I see.
He had been in a car accident and his leg was in plaster. First day out of hospital, first thing he did was to go to have a ride on his horse. So I was passing and he asked me to hold the horse for him to get on. He put his good leg in the stirrup, just about to put his other leg over, and the horse walked towards me, so I let it go, and he ended up breaking the plaster, so we ended up back in hospital.
Oh, goodness. Great. So for you to stay with horses after that experience was quite a...
Yeah. I realized then that if I didn't get into horses, I wasn't gonna have him as a boyfriend, so I had to like horses.
So
Good call.
So you were dating, and that was a good call. So
yeah.
And how long did you do that before? Just my camera here. So before the whole story with Dream Alliance occurred, you guys dated, you got married, and you raised horses, or you raced them, or how did you took care of abandoned horses even?
Well, my husband have always had horses all his life.
Okay.
So we've always had a horse, but not a racehorse. We had Welsh cobs. Then once the children had grown up, we went into racing pigeons first. Always had horses in the background. We had racing pigeons. We won a Welsh National with our racing pigeons. And then one night I had taken over a working men's club. And when I was working behind the bar in the club, I heard one of the customers talking about a racehorse that they'd owned many years before. And I liked the sound of it. And I thought, well, we've got horses. We'll have a go.
Yeah.
So Brian bought a thoroughbred mare. And I chose a stallion and we took it from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That was a leap of faith, if I can say that, and really taking a chance, and then also being able to, and how, I guess that kind of entails a question Julie had earlier, how true to book in real life is the movie, but I'm sure this part was true, that you were able to encourage the townspeople to come on board and help you either purchase this horse or get it trained to race.
Yeah, we actually bred Dream Alliance.
Yeah.
And then working in the club, I was in a good position to meet different people, you know, and put the story over.
Yeah.
And yeah, the old village, whenever he was racing, because in the main street of the village, there's a betting office, you know, where you can go and put bets on the horses.
Yeah.
And when Dream was running, the road would be more or less shut off with people, as it was in the film.
Yeah.
Try, you know, putting the bet on, and yeah, the old village. Yeah.
After he won his first few races, people started seeing that he had something special, right?
Yes, yeah. In the beginning, I think people joined in the beginning to see if we could actually do it. They didn't believe that we could, but they were coming along for, you know, for the fun of it.
Right, yeah.
But then he started, you know, he started to do well, and he got in. Everybody in the village then wanted to know, even if they weren't part of the syndicate, they were part of the journey, because he was from the village, you know, he was part, they were part of the journey.
Amazing. How many were originally involved in the syndicate from the beginning?
23 originally. We lost one or two along the way. I think when he actually won the national, I think there was 22 of us.
22.
Yeah.
And tell us the incredible feeling of pride and in a community, love for the horse, to see Dream Alliance work through the injury that he had too. I mean, because we didn't know the whole story, we're just watching blindly. We thought he was going to die.
I did. Yeah,
I mean, it just was so heartrending. And I'm sure the actress Toni Collette, she did a pretty good job. Your emotions must have been even more out there, like when he got injured, and then walking through that whole process of him rehabbing to the point where he could actually race again. It almost sounds like the pictures when they had the Tommy John surgery and they could throw better than they did before. Just talk to us about that. That was incredible.
Well, the one part of the film, because it was based on a true story.
Okay.
And Dream's mother didn't actually die giving birth to Dream.
Okay. That's good to correct that. Okay.
She died.
Yeah.
She died the day before he had his accident.
Oh, wow. That far ahead.
So yeah, so me and Brian weren't actually at that race. We were in the house because we had to unrail the foal, obviously, because his mother had died. Yeah. So we were actually at home while he was, you know, while it was all going on. Right. So we were on the phone trying to find out, you know, exactly. Right. So they were relaying it all to us on the phone as we were watching it on the television.
Wow, that must have been.
Oh, it was devastating, absolutely devastating.
And so describe the injury and the process of his healing for our audience that maybe hasn't read the book or seen the movie.
Well, what actually happened in the accident, as he went, the horse in front, the hurdle down. Mm-hmm. So Dream jumped, trying to miss it as it came back up, and his back leg caught the front leg and almost severed the tendon. Wow. He didn't actually go down. If he had gone down on the floor, they would probably have had to put him to sleep. Yeah. But he went from the race course. They took him to Liverpool, to the veterinary hospital there, where they patched him up. Mm-hmm. He went back to Philip Hobbs then, and they discovered about surgery, stem cell surgery, which they didn't think he would race again, but they thought it would give him a better quality of life. Right. Because I mean, he was everyone in the syndicate. Yeah. Everybody loved him in equal measure. So there was no qualms. He was going to have his surgery. But they actually discovered it. And he had to go down to London, but they had to do it twice. What? The first time they took stem cells from the sternum and bacteria got in, so they couldn't use them. So they had to take more stem cells. And then the next time then they worked. Yeah. Yeah.
And he was top form. How long did it take for him to heal up?
From his actual accident until he got back on the track, I think it was around 18 months altogether to get him fit again after the accident, you know.
And then how many races did he win after that?
He only won the well. He had one race at Chepstow Racecourse after the accident, and he came second. He was beaten by the horse that was carrying the least weight. Then he won the Welsh National. Then.
Sorry. Wow.
He didn't win after that. I think he paid us back for everything that we had done for him. And then if I had owned him outright, I would have retired him then.
Yes.
But the syndicate voted, to try a little bit longer, but no, he'd had enough.
He had enough. How many more races after that? Probably just a handful.
He went to the Grand National, and that was when we actually found out what was why he had gone, because he'd race well, and then he'd have one or two races where he would pull up or he went to, and we discovered at the Grand National that he was actually bursting blood vessels in the lungs.
Yes.
It's they feel as if they drowned in. It only lasts a few seconds, but it's long enough for him to be out of the race. He couldn't catch back up then. Wow. So he moved trainers then to a small family run yard, and I think he had 4 races there. But then we decided no, enough was enough, and he went into retirement.
And about my plan for the church to do this.
Go ahead.
Raise your voice. Yeah, my plan is for my church to do this. We have a nice yard out behind our church. So my plan, I've been telling our church people, we're going to sell shares to a racehorse and put it out here in the back of the church.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Why not? Indeed.
Your story has encouraged us and inspired us. Wouldn't that be a first? A church.
Yes. Why not?
Just tied it back into the building. So where is Dream Alliance now? Is he still alive?
Yes, he's 20 now. He's retired with. I wanted to bring him home to us.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, I would love to have had him home with us, but the syndicate felt that he should go somewhere where he would be ridden on a daily basis, just lightly. He'll never be raced or anything like that again. So he's with the young girl that looked after him when he was in the stables. He wasn't coming to me, so I had to make sure I knew where he was going. You've got a lovely home. Anyone in the syndicate can go and visit him when they want to, and he's well looked after.
How far away from you there, where you live in Wales, is he now?
About 2.5 hours.
So do you see him often? Do you go up and see him?
No, I can't go and visit. It's too upsetting. There's only so many times you can walk away. No, I can't go and see him.
Oh, it makes me cry. Your story's so great. My gosh.
I know.
We just love it. And it'll be great to give a PS to our people who watch the film, and maybe we've been doing a lot of outreaches and things. Maybe we'll buy copies of the book too. So the book is available online. Is it called?
Yes, on Amazon. It's called Dream Horse. It's called Dream Horse.
Yeah. Okay. And your husband and you, are you working with horses, or are you back to flying pigeons?
We're back with horses. We had a bit of bad luck. We had an arson attack on our stables. We bred a lovely colt. We had him gelded. He was 3 years old, 2 weeks away from going to Philip Hobbs, and we had an arson attack on the stable. He sadly died in the fire, and his mother was horrifically burnt, but she stayed for 3.5 months with the vet. If you saw her now, you'd never believe she'd been in a fire. She's wonderful.
So when you say, because arson, I thought you said arsenic. I thought maybe
no, arson attack.
Wow, somebody actually set fire to your stable.
Yeah.
Did you ever find out who it was, and were they?
Well, we were told. I mean, we don't know how true it is, and we don't really want to believe it. But we were told it was some young lads in the village that they burnt our stables by mistake. There was an empty stable further down, which was the one that should have gone up in flames, and they burnt ours by mistake. But we don't know. I mean, it's best not to know, isn't it?
That's true. And before we close, tell us a little bit of history of the Welsh wild horses or ponies, I think, as you mentioned to me, and how was it King Henry that try to drive them out of Wales, and that yet there was still some that survived. And I don't know if you grew up knowing some of them were there. I studied a little bit about that because we were trying to get ready for your Welsh accent so we could. This is the so.
Different parts of Wales. We have Welsh ponies on our mountains here,
Yeah.
but I mean Snowdonia is a long way away from us. But they have the natural ponies there. Yeah, and they nurtured. They're part of the environment, so they're protected.
Protected now, yeah.
Yes.
Something that somebody meant to get rid of. People have come on board and loved on them and made sure that they've survived. So,
yes.
You know, I want to close with this thought, and you can, I'm sure Julie will say this is true, but my wife and I are big dog lovers, and we've had dogs all our lives. But we've often said if we had the money and time and God let us, the next animal we would love to own and care for would be horses, because it seems to me the affection that we've gotten through the years from dogs, I can see that coming back from horses. Am I wrong? Or am I right in that?
They very much alike. We've got dogs. We've had dogs. Or we've been married 50 years this year, and we've had dogs. We've had dogs all out. We've got a whippet and a working cocker spaniel at the moment.
Cool.
And horses are very much the same.
Yeah.
They bond the same,
Yeah.
and they pick up on your emotions, and yeah, they're wonderful animals. Exactly the same as dogs.
That's
if you
good
can
to know.
bond with a dog,
Yeah.
you'll bond with a horse.
Wow, that's great. Well, listen, if you don't mind, we always like to close in a little word of prayer. Any needs that you can mention to us, because we are a church here, and we just pray for you and your husband and your ongoing work with horses, and anything that you would like to share. God bless Dream Alliance, where he is, and help your heart to heal out from not seeing him. So,
well, I'd say God bless any animals that are out there.
that's right.
They all deserve loving homes.
They do. You must be.
And I'd like to hear that you've bred this racehorse now for the church.
We will stay in touch. We will definitely do that.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
I'll be listening for that one.
Okay. You must be. Are you a fan of James Herriot and All Creatures Great and Small?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Yes.
My wife and I. Well, let's say a little word of prayer and then we'll let you go, because it's late over there. So, Lord, thank you so much for this wonderful time interviewing Janet. What a privilege it is to be able to talk across the great pond over there in Mother England land with this dear, special, sweet lady whose love of horses and animals, she and her husband over 50 years being married together, is just such a feel-good thing, Lord. I thank you so much for engineering this interview and for the honor of being able to talk to Janet, and for her special heart for animals that you've given to us. Bless her and her husband and their lives together. And we thank you for this time in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
God bless you, dear. We will touch base again for
We'll
sure.
keep in touch.
Right.
Nice
God
talking
bless.
with you.
Bye.